Hey guys, my name is Nicolette Mashile. I am also known as the Financial Bunny. So welcome to the Financial Bunny TV. We're talking all things investing. One of my favorite things to do because just watching your money grow is so satisfying. And to all South Africans, happy Money Smart Week. And I hope that you've been making some smart decisions with your money because at the end of the day, it's your money. So you've got to make those smart decisions. All right. So remember that absolutely nothing that I say on this channel constitutes as financial advice. If you are looking for financial advice, please speak to somebody who is certified and registered with the FSCA. So it's a bit of a funny story, but it's not really funny because I always say lack of knowledge is not something to laugh about. But I had somebody call me a couple of years ago when I started doing this, and they said to me, "Hey, Nicolette, I heard you," because in the beginning when I started doing financial education videos, especially when I was talking about investing in the stock market, right? I would talk a lot about Capitec, and I talk about when Capitec listed, it was listed at 3 Rand. And if you fast forward to now, if you had bought yourself Capitec shares, you would have so much money. Well, you wouldn't really have the money. Your portfolio value would be very high, right? And I used to talk about it all the time. And I'm like, yeah, this is what we... And this one person called me and said, they actually sent me an email and they said, "Hey, Nicolette, I called Capitec and I asked them, how can I buy shares? And they told me they don't sell shares." And, for a minute, I wanted to make a whole big joke about it. And then I realized that, no, it's actually not funny. There are people that actually do not know where to buy shares or do not know where to actually buy investment products. And they want to invest in these different markets. They want to invest in the stock market. They want to invest in the bond market, but they don't actually know where to go. So today we're going to look at some basic places where you would ideally buy or actually invest in any of these markets, right? So I think I want to start off with the stock market. Very important. In actual fact, not just the stock market. If you want to invest in assets, one of the first places that you need to go to is to your financial advisor, right? Have a conversation with your financial advisor. Let them understand what are your actual goals that you want to achieve with these investment assets so that they can give you a list of proposed assets that you should be investing in so that you can get what it is that you are looking for. So that's step number one. Generally, what the financial advisor would do is that in those asset classes or those investment vehicles that they do have access to, they would be able to assist you in acquiring those. And generally, those would be things like unit trusts, right? Or mutual funds. But generally, for a lot others, where maybe, for instance, you want to invest into individual stock, individual bonds, you would probably need the help of a broker, either a broker or a brokerage firm, right? These are people or companies that specialize in being the go-to, the middle person that kind of works for you and your interests to use your money to go and buy investment vehicles on your behalf. However, we are in 2021, so you don't actually need to have a broker or a brokerage firm because there's something that is amazing that has come up. I think it came up in maybe early 2015, is what we call broker platforms. And brokerage platforms are places like EasyEquities, the Franc App, Fed Group. These are DIY type of brokerage platforms where you essentially can invest in different asset classes by yourself without the help of a middleman or a third party, right? However, they are a third party, so technically there is a use of a third party, but you're doing it yourself. So let's talk a little bit about those. And I want to speak a little bit about four ones that I want to talk about today. So the first one is, of course, EasyEquities, and I think we've spoken extensively about EasyEquities. Then I want to speak about the Standard Bank securities, which is SGB securities. Then I want to talk a little bit about the Franc App, which is another nice platform. Then there is Satrix, where you can actually buy Satrix, ETFs and unit trusts. And then I want to talk about RSA Retail Bonds, right? Which is another platform where you you can invest in South African government bonds. So let's start with EasyEquities. Now, if you have not understood what EasyEquities is, I would suggest that you go to some of my earlier videos where I speak about EasyEquities. But of course, also they've got a platform themselves where they've got a blog that explains everything about what EasyEquities is. Often I get people saying, hey, Nicolette, should I invest in EasyEquities? No. You don't invest in EasyEquities, okay? It's like saying, hey, Nicolette, can I book Uber? No, you don't book Uber. You book an Uber from the platform called Uber. I'm hoping this makes sense. So when you go onto EasyEquities, it's like, okay, actually, here's a good example. You walk into the grocery shop and you want to buy groceries. Now, when you walk into the grocery shop, you will realize that there are different brands and different products that are available for you to buy from the one specific grocery shop, right? So you're not going to say, I'm going to buy Pick and Pay. No, you're going to buy products from Pick and Pay. And in Pick and Pay, often you will find that you've got Nola, you've got all sorts of brands, No Name, you've got All Star, you've got all sorts of brand names. Even when you go, let's say, for instance, you want to buy toothpaste. You go there is Sensodyne, there is Colgate, there is Metadent, P, whatever it's called. So they are Aquafresh. So there's different types of brands of actual toothpaste, right? So it's important for you to understand this because that's exactly what EasyEquities is. EasyEquities is not you buying EasyEquities. You're going into a grocery shop to go and shop for the different products that you want. In this case, you are shopping for the different investment vehicles that are available. So those could be unit trusts, those could be a tax-free savings account or tax-free shares account, those could be different mutual funds, those could be different ETFs, those could be different bond mutual funds. So there's a whole lot of things that you can actually buy. So we call them securities. You can buy securities from the EasyEquities platform. And now that I've explained the EasyEquities platform, it's similar to what you will buy when you get onto the Standard Bank securities platform. So again, they've also got a separate platform of their own that they run, and there again, you can buy different types of securities in their different little formations, right? So that's exactly what a platform essentially looks like. Now, the difference between these platforms is that on this EasyEquities, what makes EasyEquities a standout and probably different from Standard Bank or going to a Satrix platform or going to Alan Gray's platform or going to PSG's platform is that what they've allowed you to do is to be able to buy fractional investment, or you are able to do what is called fractional investing. What does that mean? It means that if you log in there and you want to buy a Capitec share, and a Capitec share is like 1,800. I'm making an example. It's 1,800. You don't necessarily need to have 1,800, especially if you're using what is called the rand averaging investing approach, right? Where you are, let's say, for instance, you say, I only want to invest 500 Rand. My 500 Rand must then be allocated to different investment vehicles. So you wouldn't be able to buy one Capitec share at one go because it's 1.8 and you only putting in 500 Rand into the platform. So what essentially would happen is that whatever money you've allocated from your 500 to go to individual shares, if the individual share that you have chosen is Capitec, it will buy a fraction. Remember at school, you used to learn about fraction, 1/3, which is 1/3, 2/3, which is 2/3. So you would be buying until you get 3/3, which is 1. So you would be buying fractions of that individual share up until you have enough money to be able to buy the whole thing. So that's essentially what makes EasyEquities really exciting for a lot of people. However, if you go on things like the Standard Bank securities, you will also find that it has its advantages and, of course, its disadvantages. One of the biggest advantages that I find with the Standard Bank platform is the fact that they've got like many different types of securities. So you are not only limited to what, like the securities that are available in EasyEquities. On the Standard Bank platform, there's a whole lot more. And Standard Bank or you used to also be able to put a stop loss. I know that EasyEquities, I think you can do it right now. Not really sure, have not been on the platform for a while because I believe in investing and forgetting that you've invested, right? So those are ways in which the different platforms will kind of differ. Same thing, when you go to a place like Satrix, they'll say to you there's a minimum amount of money that you need to contribute every single month for you to be able to access certain investment vehicles that they've got. Now, here's the beauty of all of this that's actually happening. There is a platform also called Franc App. Now, Franc App is like, and I explained this in my book, so if you don't understand investing, do purchase a copy of my book. It's currently on sale on my platform, but of course you can get it at Take A Lot. The book is called What's Your Move by Nicolette Bashile. One of the things that you will notice on the Franc App, what they've done is that it's literally two different investment vehicles. They've got the Satrix Top 40, which is an ETF. Remember, an ETF is a security that tracks other securities. It's literally an investment that tracks other securities. So the one they've got there is the Satrix Top 40. Now, the Top 40, basically, it behaves exactly the same way as an individual stock. So they've taken all the top 40 performing companies in South Africa and they've put them into one thing. All right? So imagine a smoothie and you've got all the top 40 companies in South Africa making up that smoothie, and that smoothie then gets called the top 40, and that smoothie is now tracked like any other individual stock on the Johannesburg Stock Exchange. So it is actually a very active security, right? So that's what is on the Franc App. You get the top 40, so you can invest in the top 40, and you get the Allan Gray money market. Now remember, money market, we spoke about one of the asset classes that you are able to invest in is a cash equivalent. And a money market account is exactly that. It's a cash equivalent. Your money is going to gain interest as you keep it there. But because of a thing called compound interest, that's how your money actually grows, right? Remember, don't eat the interest. You gotta reinvest the interest. That's how you make your money. All right. So that is Franc. So who is the Franc App for? I would say you kind of graduate throughout the levels, right? So you would start off on the Franc App. The Franc App, what's nice about it is that you do this questionnaire that is going to determine what your risk appetite is. And what they do on the Franc App is that, let's say, for instance, you are like Nicolette and you're like, I'm going in, I'm aggressive. So what they will do is whatever amount of money you put onto the Franc App to invest, they will split it between the equity portion, which is the Satrix Top 40, and they're going to split it into the cash option, which is the Allan Gray money market. So it will always be a split, and you can actually determine what that split is. So when I started, it was 80-20. 80% of my money was allocated to equity, which is the Satrix Top 40, and 20% of my money was allocated to cash, which is now the Allan Gray money market. So now I'm like, trying to be as aggressive as possible. So now it's split as 95-5%. So 95% of my money that I put in there goes into the Satrix Top 40 and 5% goes into that money market. Now, the money market for me is great because that's where I really actually put my emergency savings now. So a split of my emergency savings used to go into my home loan account, my Access account, and then a split of it goes into my money market account on the Franc App. Then you would graduate to a place like EasyEquities. As I said, EasyEquities has got unit trust, it's got tax-free shares account, it's got ETFs, it's got individual stocks. The beauty about EasyEquities is that it also gives you access to the United States listed companies. So all those Apples, the Facebooks, the Amazons, you can actually invest in those from your South African home without having to travel all the way to America and get an American broker and do all those crazy things. So you can get access into some offshore markets from the comfort of your home. And it's not just individual stocks. There are some American ETFs there. There are also some American REITs, which is your real estate investment trust, right? Then you would graduate to the Standard Bank platform. Now, of course, if you're a Standard Bank account holder, it makes it easy to transfer funds between your accounts, but it's not just for Standard Bank guys. You can use the same platform to be able to invest in CFDs. So there's a whole lot of other new things. So once you are comfortable with the investing space, I would go then to the Standard Bank platform, right? And then, of course, there is RSA Retail Bonds. Now, I've spoken a little bit about bonds. Bonds are basically when you are the loan shark or when you are the bank yourself and the government comes to you and says, yo, we want to build a bridge. We don't have money to build a bridge. So can we please collect as much money from ordinary South Africans? They'll collect money from ordinary South Africans and they'll promise us an interest return on our money, and it's a fixed rate. So for instance, if let's say for instance, South African Roads Agency, SANRAL, decide they want to do away with the e-tolls, but they want to build a big toll gate between Johannesburg and Pretoria because we don't pay the e-toll, so they're going to put a physical toll gate. And they say, we don't have money to build that toll gate, so we need South Africans to actually borrow us money. Then you say, okay, I've got 50,000 rand to borrow the South African National Roads Agency, SANRAL, but and they say to you, okay, give us your 50,000 rand and we will promise you 10% every single year on your 50,000. And they say for 5 years. So for 5 years, it's a fixed rate for 5 years. You are going to get 10% of your 50,000 rand, which should essentially be 5,000 rand if I'm doing my maths correctly. But you know, I got an E for maths, so excuse me. So you would get that amount of money. The smart thing is you don't withdraw it. You must reinvest. Remember, I said don't eat the interest. Don't chow the interest. It's not good. It's not good to chow the interest. All right. And then at maturity, which is the 5 years that they've promised to give you this, they will give you, again, your 10% on 50,000 rand plus however much has accumulated. Remember, first year, it will be on 50,000 rand. Next year, it will be on 55,000 rand. The next year, it will be on 60,000 rand, right? So in the last year, however much you've got on the account, they'll give you 10% of that plus they will give you back your 50,000 rand. How amazing. Very cool, right? So they'll give you back your 50,000. That's how you invest in the bond market, right? Now, where do you invest in South African government bonds? There is a site called RSA Retail Bonds. It is a platform that is managed by Treasury, or we assume it's managed by Treasury because it's Treasury bonds. But Treasury is government, guys. So whoever is managing it, the people that said, the smart people that are managing it on behalf of government, those are the people that are going to be managing it for you. All right. So which one didn't I speak about? Whichever one I didn't speak about, we have 17 minutes into this video. So let's pack it and talk about it on the next video. So I'll see you guys on the next video when we speak more about investing. Mwah!